Did you know that you can add metadata inside of your camera to your photos and the videos that you're creating? Now, does this metadata actually help to further your copyright claims should somebody steal your content? Let's talk to a lawyer to find out.
My name is Tony Iliakostas. I'm an adjunct professor of entertainment law and IP at New York Law School, and I have an Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok account called The IP Professor that is dedicated to all things intellectual property.
Tony, does adding metadata in your camera help to protect your copyright protection? So, as photographers, videographers, people creating content, oftentimes we have the ability to put in copyright information directly in camera or in programs like Photoshop and Lightroom and have that metadata as part of the images or the videos we are creating. Does that help to protect us?
So it's certainly an act of deterrence, but it's not the way that you're necessarily going to protect full-fledged the assets that you're trying to incorporate metadata in. So I've said it before in plenty of videos. You can definitely check them out on Cam's channel. I will say it again in this video for sure. The only way that you can affirmatively protect your copyrighted works is by going to the U.S. Copyright Office and registering the work of authorship that you created in the office. It's a very easy process, very cost effective. It takes no more than essentially 3 months to get a registration certificate in hand. It's a very efficient way to get your works protected. And the reason why registration is so vital is because if in fact there is a world where your works of authorship, the photos or videos you work on, have been consistently been infringed on by others, or if you anticipate an infringement, registering your works and getting it fully registered will now legally protect you, because if someone were to infringe on those photos and videos, you can bring a claim of copyright infringement. In the U.S. Justice system, legal system, you cannot bring a copyright infringement claim without a full-fledged registration in the U.S. Copyright Office. This is case law that has been established, well established for decades. This is a very easy way to just get that out of the way. So that's the main way you protect it. Now, putting in, let's say, a copyright notice, your name, the year, all that, that's obviously another effective way. And actually, I would say that operates more as like general deterrence, like putting people on notice, like, hey, if you were to ever use this photo, remember, this photo was taken by Cam Robinson in 2023. So you have to make sure that if you were to ever use that photo that belongs to, to that author, you would have to license it from that author, especially if you are going to use it for a commercial purpose. So that type of metadata notice is very handy in that way. And I think that would, if there was someone that would infringe on a photo or video that blatantly contains a copyright notice in the metadata, that could actually speak to, I think, the main prong of the copyright infringement analysis, which is the access prong, which is that, say that the user found this photo, let's say on your website, Cam, and when they downloaded the image, sure enough, the metadata appeared. I mean, that clearly shows that they had access. They could have only had access to that photo from your website or what have you. So I think that metadata helps in that way. Another way that metadata can be helpful is if, let's say, especially with video, let's say that you encrypted your video to prevent any edits or any modifications, especially to the metadata, and somebody were to decrypt it. That actually affords copyright owners, especially if you've had this work registered in the U.S. Copyright Office, this affords copyright owners to file a claim against these infringers under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, the DMCA, as you all know, under violation of what's called the Anti-Circumvention Clause. And the Anti-Circumvention Clause very clearly states that if an infringer uses certain measures, albeit illegal or otherwise, to decrypt something that was clearly protected by encryption, they would be in direct violation of that. And usually that could lead to some type of damages in a civil case. It's not criminal in nature, although obviously we can get into a whole discussion of criminal copyright infringement, but nonetheless, this is as good as it gets when it comes to getting pretty good civil damages if this were to go before a court of law. Now, that said, we've seen the Anti-Circumvention Clause in practice. One of the biggest cases that recently really tested that was a lawsuit that Disney filed against a streaming service called VidAngel, where they basically offered a clean movie watching experience for families. But the way that VidAngel did it is they essentially went to retail stores like Target, Walmart, Best Buy. They bought DVDs and they used specific software that was encrypted, that was fully protected, because, movie studios do that. And that's how DVDs and Blu-rays are created. They took those DVDs and Blu-rays, they used decryption software to decrypt the movies or the Blu-rays and DVDs. They pulled the movie file out, and then they proceeded to go in on upload the movie file on their server, put in the time codes of like, this violent scene happens, this curse scene happens. And they did this with every movie from every major studio, including Disney, Lucasfilm, Marvel, 20th Century, Warner Brothers. And when they uploaded it onto VidAngel, you could customize the settings and say, remove all language, remove all violence. And all in all, they were, I guess, had good intentions, but it was done in a very improper fashion. So Disney and a bevy of other movie production companies sued VidAngel. They won a boatload of money, but one of the causes of action that Disney and all these production companies pursued was a violation of the DMCA anti-circumvention clause, which VidAngel themselves conceded on that point, which was quite alarming. But they conceded that, yes, they did decrypt for the sake of uploading, but they thought that they were doing it for good. Go figure. Either way, the DMCA anti-circumvention clause, I think, goes hand in hand with this discussion of encryption and metadata. So if you are the type of user out there that likes to encrypt your software, encrypt your metadata, I think that it's also, there could be a cause of action where if someone were to decrypt it in whatever way, you could always go after them for a violation of the anti-circumvention clause. So to bring it all together, all those little measures are great, but the gold standard, take your works and go to the U.S. Copyright Office and register them. You'll thank me later.
And so if you are looking to kind of add some credence to what you are doing with the content you are creating, and make sure you've got yourself backed up, should something happen, always get that copyright protection and use your metadata to back yourself up. That is going to help your case should you end up in a case. And if you've got further questions on this, go ahead and let us know. And if you need to know how to do that, let me know. Maybe we'll make some tutorials for you and show you exactly how to do it inside of your cameras so that you do not have to worry about it moving forward. Further questions on how to stay legally protected in the entrepreneurial space, go ahead and drop those down below. Tony's coming back for upcoming episodes. Or as always, you are able to reach out to Tony on his social media to get direct information from him. So Tony, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the IP Professor, and you can check out my entertainment law podcast called End Scene. A new episode drops every Friday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Drop your questions down below because Tony's coming back for upcoming episodes to keep us legally protected in the entrepreneur space, and we're dropping daily videos to help you create content in under 5 minutes a day so that you can profit more and grow your community more from your social media with less stress and less time commitment while keeping that quality level up. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.